Hello student, I'm a math teacher at Yad Private School. My name is Dilan. In this video I will explain how to solving the absolute value equation and inequalities. I prepared a diagram for it. There's two types of an absolute value equation and inequalities. For equation there's three types, okay? No solution if an an absolute value equal to negative number. Two solution if the absolute value equal to a positive number. One solution if the absolute value equal to 0. Okay, for this one we didn't solve it, just we say has no solution. For if we have absolute value equal to a positive number, I will write x equal to a, x equal to negative a. Okay, student, just absolute value, it's not equal to negative number. Okay, if there's just x equal to a negative number, it's okay. And the last one, if there's an absolute value equal to 0, so I will write x equal to 0 and I solve the solution. So there's one solution, two solution, and no solution. For an inequality, two types, we have two solution. Okay, the absolute value greater than a positive number, I will choose or for it. Okay, I mean we need to change it to compound inequality. And the absolute value less than a, okay, means and between them. Okay, a and negative 8. Okay, if the absolute value greater than a negative number, this is all real numbers, will be a solution. Just write all real numbers. Again, we don't need to solve it. Okay, the absolute value less than a negative number has no solution. We need to memorize all notes in this paper. Okay, then we can solve the questions. The question says solve each inequality equations. As you see, there's three equations and an absolute value in it. We need to solve it. Okay, first step, always we need to isolate the absolute value on one side. If there is number next to it by multiply, or number next to it by plus or minus. Okay, the first step, we need to always isolate the absolute value on one side. Okay, how we can isolate it? We need to divide both sides by 3. Okay, the absolute value of x plus 2 as it is, because we didn't open it, just isolate it, equal to negative 9 divided by 3 will be negative 3. Now we get an absolute value equal to a negative number, so has no solution. We don't need to continue with the solving because there is no solution for it. So this case, absolute value equal to a negative number has no solution, always. Okay, if x equal to a negative number, it's okay, but the absolute value can't be a negative number. Second one, absolute value of x plus 2 equal to 2. Okay, there's a number next to the absolute value by plus, so we need to take to the other side, will be negative 2. So absolute value as it is, 2 minus 2 will be 0. We said if there is an absolute value equal to 0, there is just one solution. Now we can open the absolute value because there is no coefficient and there is no plus or minus next to it, so I will write x equal to 0. Is there any coefficient to divide both sides by it? No. And there's no plus or minus, so will be the solution. Always isolate the absolute value, okay? Then we can solve it. The last one, as you see, There's negative here, okay? But we need to isolate the absolute value on one side, then we can decide which case this equation, okay? I will divide both sides by -2, okay? We get absolute value of x minus 3 equal to -8 divided by -2 will be 4. So we get a positive number, sorry. Now we can open the absolute value because it's isolated on one side. So I will write x minus 3 equal to 4, x minus 3 equal to -4. If there is two solutions, I will write the same expression equal to positive and equal to negative. Now we need to take this one to the other side, will be positive 3, x equal to 7. This is the first solution. Take -3 to the other side, will be positive 3, x equal to -1. So we have, as you see, there's two solutions for the absolute value if it's equal to positive number. There's one solution for absolute value if it's equal to 0, and there is no solution for the absolute value if it's equal to a negative number. What about inequalities? Solve each inequalities. The same rules for inequality if there's an absolute value in it, to isolate it on one side, okay? Let's solve. Absolute value of x plus 4 greater than 1. There's plus next to absolute value. I will take it to other side, will be -4. So absolute value of x greater than 1 minus 4 will be -3. So absolute value greater than a negative number, so it will be all real numbers. Okay, when the absolute value greater than a negative number will be all real numbers. Second one, x plus 2 in absolute value greater than 3. There is no coefficient here, and there is no plus or minus next to the absolute value. Now we can open the absolute value. Because the samples open at the absolute value, we need to use OR. I will write x plus 2 greater than 3, or x plus 2 less than -3. Same sample for positive, reverse sample for negative. Now take this positive 2 to the other side, will be -2. I will write x greater than 1, or take positive 2 to the other side, will be -2, x less than -5. Now a number line, -5, here is 1, 0, 2, -4, and -6. Open circle for -5, x less than -5, so this side. Open circle for 1, x greater than 1, so this side. If the sample opens at the absolute value, we need to use OR, okay? Number 4, it's 3, sorry, and it's 4. Number 3, we have two absolute value of x less than -4, okay? Again, we have a coefficient, we need to cancel it by dividing both sides by 2, okay? X in absolute value less than -4 divided by 2 will be -2. Again, we get a negative number. So there is no number to put in the absolute value it's less than a -2, because always the absolute value make a negative number a positive. So always we get a positive number, and as you know, always a positive number greater than a negative. So this has no solution. What's the difference between that two questions? absolute value of x greater than a negative number means all real number. When we put a negative or a positive number in the absolute value, always the result is greater than a negative 3, but here it's not less than a negative number, okay? Number 4, three absolute value of x less than 18, okay? Divide both sides by 3 to isolate the absolute value on one side. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Absolute value of x less than a positive number, there is two solutions. X between negative 6 and 6, because we need to use and. If the absolute value open and the number. Here we have negative 6, here we have 6. Open circle for both of them and x between them, so connect that two case. If absolute value greater than a negative number, it's all real number. Absolute value less than a negative number has no solution. But as you see, here we have x less than negative 5. We choose it as a solution because it's okay if x less than a negative number, greater than a negative number, it's a 0, if it's a 0. So it's okay. Just the absolute value, we have a problem with negative numbers, okay? I hope to understand well, and see you.